Today we are making the quickest and easiest vegan mac and cheese. I've done a few mac and cheese videos because it's probably my second favorite meal after burgers, and this might be my new standard way to make it. We'll be doing a classic stovetop mac and then one based off of Cashew E Pepe, but since we're using cashews, I'm calling it Cashew E Pepe. Both of these come together in about 15 minutes and are perfect for a quick weeknight meal. And for the classic blue box style, we need 8 ounces of pasta, 8 ounces of unsweetened plant milk, 8 ounces of vegan cheddar shreds, 2 tablespoons of vegan butter, and I'm also going to add in some black pepper, hot sauce, garlic, salt, and onion powder, but season yours as you see fit. So first, let's pour in our dried pasta, and then we're going to add in about 2 cups of water, or just enough to cover it like so. Add a good pinch of salt, and then we'll turn on the heat to medium-high and get this water boiling. And just make sure you stir it around every now and again so the pasta doesn't stick. And once it's boiling, reduce the heat a bit, and now all we need to do is reduce this water down and cook the pasta to al dente, which should take about 6 to 8 minutes. And the reason we are cooking the pasta like this is because the starch from the pasta water will help emulsify our sauce and make it super creamy and amazing. So go ahead and check your pasta after about 6 minutes, and once the pasta is cooked al dente and there's just a little bit of water left, we're going to add in 2 tablespoons of vegan butter and stir that around to melt it. And then next we're going to add in unsweetened plant milk and give that a stir as well. And then next we'll add in our vegan cheese shreds and stir those around until they're all nice and melted. And depending on your cheese selection, your mileage may vary. I'm using VO Life, but depending on what you use, you might need more milk to thin it out or possibly some tapioca starch to thicken it. But once your cheese sauce is at the consistency that you like, taste it for seasoning and add in whatever you want. Like I said, I'm adding in some garlic salt, some black pepper, and some Frank's hot sauce. And that is basically it. Obviously, add more cheese and milk if you want it saucier, but for me, this was perfect. But yeah, honestly, I'm so stoked I saw this technique from J. Kenji Lopez Alt, and it is a game changer. I typically use sodium citrate for an emulsifier, but this works just as well, if not better, if you ask me. So go ahead and dig in like I am here, and this was so dang easy and delicious, and there is, of course, plenty of leftovers if you made this for just 1 or 2 people, so you can eat this for days. And when you reheat it, you might need to add a little more plant milk to get it back to its former glory, but as you can see here, this looks just as good as the day I made it, so it does keep for a few days in the fridge, no problemo. And now for the Cashew E Pepe version of this. At first I used a recipe from the New York Times, and while it was good, it wasn't quite saucy enough for me, so I ended up adding a bunch more cashews and milk to the mix. So we'll start off with 1 cup of raw, unsalted cashews and cover them in boiling water for about 10 minutes. And while that's happening, let's get our pasta boiling. We'll get 8 ounces of our dried pasta, and then it's basically the same thing as before. Cover the pasta in about 2 cups of water, add some salt, and then bring to a boil, and then lower the heat and cook the pasta to al dente and reduce the water. And then we'll blend our softened cashews with 2 cups of unsweetened plant milk, and this footage was from when I made it the first time, so ignore how little I'm pouring in. But then next we're going to add in our cashew cream and stir that around, and I know that this looks a little too saucy, but once it heats up, the starches in the cashews will thicken the sauce up quite a bit. And then next it's time to season it, so we'll get 1 tablespoon of mushroom seasoning, but you could also use miso paste, which is what the New York Times recipe calls for, and then 2 tablespoons of nooch, aka nutritional yeast, 1 to 2 tablespoons of olive oil, a 1/4 teaspoon of lactic acid, or you could just use lemon juice to taste, and then some black pepper, and don't worry, I definitely added more later. In fact, after tasting, I'll decide to add in a little more of everything. I'll do about 1 tablespoon more of nooch, olive oil, and mushroom seasoning, and then plenty more pepper to taste. It is, after all, Cashew E Pepe, so do as much pepe as you'd like. And yeah, I've never had Cashew E Pepe, but this was just super ridiculously delicious, super comforting, and savory and peppery, which is pretty much the best combo in my book. It's just like the ultimate easy comfort food, and I really do hope you all give it a try. You can also check out my Alfredo sauce, which is just as good and simple. If you do, let me know how it goes, and I'll see you all next time.